Welcome to Blood Bowl 2. This is a very salty game, okay? If you're going to play Blood Bowl 2, and I'm considering that this is... Some people have watched me play Blood Bowl on stream a lot, and some people probably haven't. So this is... I've started a new team. My youngest daughter named them the Blood Deckers. I don't know why, but that's the name she came up with. I'll run through the player names once we're in a match. It doesn't take too long to find a match. They're a brand new High Elf team. High Elves are fairly flimsy. Not too flimsy, but pretty flimsy when it comes to getting punched. But they're very good at moving the ball around and passing, and they're fairly quick. So the objective of Blood Bowl is, much like American football, to maintain possession of the football and to score touchdowns and restrict your opponent from doing the same. You get skill points for injuring other players, scoring touchdowns, successfully passing the ball, successfully intercepting the ball, and at the end of each match there are also MVP points that you get, and then you can spend those when you level up, which is every sort of certain, there's a fixed number of skill points you need for each level to level up. And you basically level up your team, you get skills, and hopefully we'll come to that. Probably not in this game, because you tend not to get a level up in your first match, but it's possible if we score enough touchdowns. So it's 11 players versus 11. You can have substitutes, they can have substitutes, and it's kind of similar to American football in that there's a football. That's it. And there are touchdowns, sorry, that's it. There's no field goal kicking, there's no there's very little to do with American football, honestly, but it's vaguely like that. So if you've ever watched American football, or football as you Americans call it, or gridiron as we called it for a while in the 90s, or the NFL or anything like that, it's kind of similar. As you can see, the ball is shaped the same, but this one has spikes. I will receive the ball. So we're up against Skaven, who are little rat people. They're kind of similar to us, actually. This is a good matchup in that they like to pass the ball and run with the ball. We like to pass the ball and run with the ball, but we can pass and kick and pick it up and stuff a lot more easily than they can, because when you look at every single character, they've got a movement allowance that's six squares, strength of 3, I'll explain that in a bit, agility of 4, and an armor value of 8. So your movement allowance, if I turn on the grid, is every one of these squares is 1 movement cost. So if I was here, I could move 6. You can then go for it. In other words, sort of go a little bit further. You can make 2 go for it's, which is basically moving a little bit further than you would normally. But every time you try to make a go for it, you have to roll a dice, and if you get a 1, you fall over. You can re-roll it, so you do have the chance to re-roll your failed rolls, but you can only do it once per turn, and you have a finite number of re-rolls. I have 2. He has 3, oddly enough. He's also has a very low team value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he has 11 players, but if we look at his skills, he's got 2 loners, which means that these guys are journeymen. In other words, he's lost players to injury or death, and as such, some of his guys haven't recovered. So that's our thrower. He's very good at picking up the ball and throwing the ball, and then we just sort of have spare people knocking about. So the thing with an elf team is, that'll do as a setup. So he kicks the ball to me, much like American football. It starts with a kickoff. You receive the ball. You have to run up there into the pitch, and get into this end zone. Elves, very quick, very good at handling the ball. Both teams lose a turn to Riot. All right, that's not too bad. It's a touchback. In other words, he didn't kick it into a half, so I can give it to whoever I want. I'm going to give it to the thrower, because I want to get some skill points on him for successful throws. So rats have these little lads called gutter runners, who are very good at dodging, and they're incredibly quick, but they're not particularly good at withstanding a block. So if you look at this is the block, all right? I'm going to throw a block on this die. Those dice mean I roll 2 dice. Of the results on those dice, I want the one that looks like an explosion, the one that looks like an explosion with a head, so that means both down. But because I have the block skill, I don't go down, but he does, because he doesn't have block. And it's a stun, so that's good. So he misses a turn on this guy. That's a good start. A good start. So I'm going to throw a block with this guy as well. And that's a POW. We'll take that. with a POW, I can also tell him where to go, and I throw him to that square. And now we have this guy left, but he has block, and I don't, so I don't want to throw that block till nearer the end of the turn. I'm then going to use my elves to sort of mark, not necessarily other players, but zones of the map. We don't want to have to block him man to man, because elves are not very good at that. And he will get, like, here's the thing, on your turn, you can punch anybody who's adjacent to you, and you can make one blitz. And a blitz is when you run over and smash someone in the chops. But you have to move for that. And I don't want to have to move. My guys, I want to be able to sort of not stand toe-to-toe with him. Because remember, if I stand toe-to-toe with him, like if I move this guy to here, I can't block that turn unless I've declared a blitz. So if I declare a blitz, I'm going to go for one of his gutter runners. It's worth a shot. If I can knock him down, that's good. And we successfully knock him down, so that's perfect. So I'm not going to follow up. I'm just going to stay put. Down he goes. And then we're going to mark over here. So the reason I'm marking is, if he wants to move this guy, he can move into a tackle zone for free. But if he wants to move through a tackle zone, he has to make a dodge check. So that's a good thing to do as elves, is you just mark sort of zonally. You don't man mark. Because if you man mark, what happens is, if I was here, on his turn, that guy gets a block on me because I'm adjacent to him. Remember, he doesn't have to use his blitz, so he could bring this guy round to help him in the block. For every person adjacent to the person you're trying to block, for every friendly team member adjacent to the person you're trying to block, you add 1 to your strength. So we're currently equal strength, which would mean it would be a 1 dice block. He rolls 1 dice. But if he has a help, he has 4 strength. I have 3, so he gets to roll 2 dice. It's just that simple, folks. Another POW. This is some good rolling. Alright, and he's down. So next turn, he can hit one of my guys, which is really, really, really good for us. That's what we want. So let's get the free skill points for a nice quick pass. Nice. Oh my god. And he failed the catch. Alright, we've lost the game already. Elves are not meant to do that. At all. Alright? But bear this in mind. He has to knock over this guy with his only blitz of the turn and then run his gutter runners in and try and get the ball. And we can easily punch them because they're only little rats after all. Can't believe we failed that catch. So he rolled a 1 and then a 2. And he only needed... And then another run, sorry. 1. So he needed to roll anything but a 1, and he got to roll twice because he has catch. So catch is basically a free reroll on trying to catch the ball. So that was a 1 in 36 chance of that catch not working. 1 in 36, friends. I'm not going to lie, they've let me down. So this is, I mean, I know a lot of the people watching this will have already seen Blood Bowl. But the reason I made that throw was, you get a skill point for every successful throw that you make. So if I throw the ball and you catch it, I get 1 skill point. It's like super easy, super likely that he was going to catch the ball. And I felt that he wasn't really in a position to get to the ball carrier without making ridiculous dodges. Brilliant. His first block of the game is an injury, and he misses the next game. That's just wonderful. What a game we're off to here. What a start. So I fail something that has a 1 in 36 chance of failure, and the very first block he throws in the game injures one of my guys. It's just fabulous. This is good stuff. I'm happy. What a miserable fucking game. God, I hate Blood Bowl. Down you go! Alright, that was good. Alright, so we're gonna punch the fuck out of this lad. That'll do. You can go and... How far can you get? Pretty fucking far. He's an elf catcher. He's called Nightmare Man, by the way. Again, my daughter named all of these. Elf Basta. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I've got no idea what that means. How far can he get? So we're gambling here that I'm going to successfully pick up and throw the ball. But We're elves, for Christ's sake. We should be able to do this. But we are now down a player for the rest of the game. Bear that in mind. So he gambled that he was going to be able to run around and get the ball. And that gamble did not really work for him. So if I go here, pretty much means that if he wants to move towards the ball carrier with anyone but, I think, this guy. There's the thrower. You go there. We're gambling here. We're gambling that this is going to be a success. But by God, we're elves. Get the ball, Bird of Deafness. Again, who knows why my daughter came up with this name. Pick up the ball, you son of a bitch. It's a long bomb, but we're going to go for it. He might intercept this. He has a 1 in 6 chance of intercepting it. Brilliant! Of course he does! Oh my God! He had to roll a 6 to catch it, and guess what? He rolled a 6. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? Now, the safer thing to do would have been to move maybe one of my guys into position, but to assume that we'd fail the pass. But I've played against elves. They never fail things. They do it all, and they make it look super easy. I'm kind of fucked up. He needs to fuck up this block, like real bad. Like double skull, re-roll into double skull. Something like that. No. He's probably going to get injured. Here goes Exploding Cupcake. He's down, but he's not out. This has been a monumentally bad start for us. Maybe he'll fuck up the catch. Surely, these things happen, right? 1 and 1. 83% chance to catch it. Of course he catches it. Brilliant. So he can just run it in for the touchdown, but I suspect he's going to stall because most players don't understand that they should just be scoring touchdowns all the time for fun. He's going to throw it to him for the skill points. So now he's going to do what I was trying to do, and he's going to successfully do it, despite not having throw or catch on either of these morons. Perfect. That's what I was trying to do! Get him, Exploding Cupcake. Nice la. And he's stunned. So the very most that we can really do here is to try to pressure him into scoring. So we go for it. You see that little dice means we had to go for it. Little dodges. No. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go for it. 50% chance. No. You flip a coin twice, you get tails both times. It happens. Just happens an awful lot to some of us. I think he just lines up exactly the same way. So we've successfully failed at everything, which is a success of a kind. Don't think that I'm being facetious. We have successfully failed at everything we've attempted in the first half, which was my plan all along, quite clearly. Fail to pick up the ball. Fail to throw the ball. Get it intercepted. Fail dodging. Fail everything. Didn't injure any bloody rats. Injured! No. Injure this one. Injure! Injure! Damn. Screw it. Do it! We're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Every time we get the ball, we're just going to go for it. That's the new plan. This time, pick up the sodding ball! Get it, bird of deafness. And stand there, and then we're going to lob it. Right, let's see what he's got now. Yeah! So, I know people will be saying, oh, Pyrian's terrible at this game. But first of all, like, let me give you a couple of things. First of all, I don't play elves very often. Because when I play elves, they seem to fail at all the things that they do to me with gay abandon when I play against them. Which is pick up the ball, pass the ball, make dodges, do all kinds of elf bullshit. Because their entire team has agility 4, which means they only fail at your basic agility stuff. Picking up the ball, catching the ball, making a short pass, making a simple dodge. 1 in 6 times. And many of them have skills that let them re-roll that for free anyway. So if you have dodge, and you try to dodge somebody, and you roll a 1, which is the only result that results in a failure, you could just roll again for free because you have dodge. Now, if they have tackle, you don't get to re-roll. And if they block you, when you block someone, if you see the little POW with an exclamation mark, that POW plus exclamation mark means that if they have dodge, they're not knocked over. If you have tackle, however, they are knocked over. That's what that result means. So that's that one with the exclamation mark. That means defender stumbles. And he stumbled onto the ground. So it happens. But if you roll that, and I have dodge, and you don't have tackle, it doesn't count. It counts as a push, which is the little arrow. So it's a very, very powerful way of avoiding getting knocked over. Now, bad things that have happened to me this game include, number 1, we were unable, apparently, to make a simple catch. Number 2, he intercepted the ball, which is a 1 in 6 chance, with no reroll. Number 3, we got a guy injured on his very first block of the game. Number 4, he was able to just run straight through me and score. So we got no rerolls left. Just going to throw the ball straight to this lad. It's a 50-50 pass. He gets to roll twice. He's probably going to intercept it with this guy. Nope. It's an easy catch. And now we can just elf it in. So that's the kind of elf bullshit I was talking about. That's what should have happened in the first half. Easy. GG, he says. I don't know what that means. Is he saying the game is over? That's ambitious. What's good about the High Elves is these guys, the catchers, don't just think of them as ball catchers. They've got low armor, but they're very good at catching these buggers because they've only got 1 more move than me. If I get tackle on these lads, they could be like those kind of, pass defense and against his wide receivers. Let's go for the onside kick and pray for the blitz. It's a high kick. All right. So when you get the kick ability, like normally when you kick the ball, it could scatter anywhere within 6 squares. It can go friggin' miles. But when you get kick, it's only within 3 squares. So you can plant it pretty effectively. And sometimes, like for instance, if he sets up all these guys at the back or whatever, or all of them over on one side, I can kind of do a little onside squibby kick and run my guys in there and get the ball before he can. So kick is a very, very good skill at setting up for a sort of lightning counterattack. Even though it should be their possession, you can get the ball off them quite quickly. So now you have to put 3 guys on the line. Remember what I was saying earlier about not putting guys on the line? You have to put 3 guys on the line at the line of scrimmage. So the reason that those guys are there is because you have to put 3 as a minimum. Which means that he gets free blocks on my guys. Oh, interesting. So he should re-roll this because neither of us has block. So that means we'll both be knocked down. Because he's a loner, he has a 50-50 chance of not getting the re-roll. So he burned the re-roll. Now he has to pick Skull, both down. And he's forced to pick it, and We're both down. So that's good. We might even be able to score here. We've got 2 turns to do it. Can we get to the ball? We can certainly get this lad to knock that guy over, but can we get any more people in there? If we... So it's possible that we get in here and score. It's not mega likely, but it's definitely possible. Let's knock this lad over. Give him a nice block. Blockaroo. Blood, just blood. Nice! Injure! Damn. Alright, we're going to have to gamble to get closer to the ball, and we do it. Nice. He's got lots of guys that he can move, which is the only downside to this plan. But, we'll see. We'll see. Not too shabby. Bong! That means he's knocked out, right? The bell. So he's now knocked out for the rest of this drive. In other words, until the ball is down, like in the touchdown area, or it's the end of the half. Then he gets a chance to re-roll and... he gets a chance to roll for recovery. It's like a 50-50 shot. So he's got 2 turns to score, which is fully possible. They are Skaven. So the one thing he should do is get one of these gutter runners into scoring position. At the moment, as you can see, he's not quite in scoring position. So he's going to go for the blitz first. And he fails to knock me down. Reroll. Oh, baby! All right. Now you might be thinking, Perian, you're in a great spot here, homie. You should take advantage of that. And that's absolutely true. But I've also got to try, if I can, to get another guy here. So this is a safer 2-dice block. Because remember, I'm out of rerolls. And if I roll a skull, that's it. But there are basically, it's a 1 in 6 chance of failure. Or a 5 in 6 chance that whatever result I get is good. So I'm going to go for it. We're going to blitz him. It's a pow, which is perfect. We're going to stay. Stunned. Pick up ball. Score. Touchdown. You got this, baby. Yeah! 2-1 to the Blood Deckers! Alright, that was nice. So now he's got 1 turn to score, and he can't do it. So what we do is we set up, just in case something funky happens, back here. Because we don't want to put my guys in the firing line unnecessarily. We want to preserve our elves. Oh, you go there. Unfortunately, in this game, there's no sort of speedy way of setting up your guys unless you save the setups. And generally speaking, that kind of sucks, in my opinion. We want to put a lineman there. Where's a lineman? You. Take his place. So now, sadly, he does get a free shot on all 3 of our guys here. But you can see what I mean about elf bullshit. See how fast that guy was. He was in there, punched the guy, punched the other guy, grabbed the ball and ran in. Easy peasy. You can't do that with many other teams. It's because we're fast and we've got high agility. But this low movement, this low armor value means that any time we get punched and we fall over, there's a chance that they'll break our armor. All he has to do is roll better than an 8 on 2 dice. And then he gets to roll on the injury table. The injury table can be anything from no effect, like he has to roll to see if there's an injury. If he gets an injury, he rolls in the injury table. It can be all kinds of stuff: stunned, knocked out, missed next game. You're so injured you missed the game, but you'll be fine for the next. Minus attributes, like you can lose agility, lose movement, lose strength, lose a point of armor permanently. You can have a niggling injury, which means you add 1 to any future injury rolls. If you want to look at the tables, go ahead and look up the Blood Bowl injury tables. Death is a possibility. And one thing you can buy is an apothecary, which is like your sideline doctor. and he gets a chance to re-roll the injury, but sometimes it'll be as bad or a worse result, and you have to take an unpleasant result like -1 strength. He's rolled another block skull. So now he re-rolls it, so that he successfully used a re-roll on the loner, which was a 50-50 shot. It happens. But now he's out of re-rolls for this half. He gets them back on the next half. I think he could foul. Like, when a guy is down, if you have a player, you can foul 1 player per turn, and everyone around you adds 1 to the foul chance, and it's basically a chance to injure them while they're on the deck. But if you roll doubles on your attempted foul, or I think it's the foul check or the armor break, you get sent off, and you're off for the rest of the game. So yeah, he gets a skill point. That was a little free throw that you take at the end when there's no risk. Hey, he goes for the foul. Please get sent off. No. And then no injury, no foul. So he failed to break my armor, but he didn't get sent off.